You are really going to enjoy this program today. My guest today is actually the older brother of my producer, Jowontae. You hear me talking about Jowontae all the time. What an incredible blessing he is. He is the guy that punches the buttons behind the scenes. All of the creativity, all of the graphics, just the special touch God has given him to be a blessing to this ministry, not just this program, to this ministry. A few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of having his father on, Jowontae Anthony, and of course you heard his story. Listen, let me tell you something. Whatever God has placed in your heart, your dream, the vision that you have in your heart is not bigger than God's capacity to get it out of you. He is your source, and He will put resources around you, people, places, and things to draw it out of you. So Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart, lean not to your own understanding, but in all of your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path. Well, his older brother, Jowontae Anthony, he is my guest today. What an incredible story. How encouraging. What an incredible journey. He's going to share that, and you're going to be inspired. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, I appreciate you joining me today. I've said this probably every program. If I've not said this every program, I mean it for every program. I'm excited for all of my guests coming on the program. God gives me a different kind of conviction as to why each person is on the program. One for one thing, another for another thing, but each one, they're here purposefully. That means that I don't go down my list of people that I know and say, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, well, I just need to fill my program schedule, because I don't. Every single person that's on this podcast or our radio program, they have been prayed over. I've asked God, who do you want on this program for this day, for this month, for this hour? Why? Because I know God has strategically, providentially placed your ears and your eyes to listen and watch this program so that you're encouraged, you're inspired, and yes, sometimes even challenged to embrace the purpose by which you were created, for which you were created, and you live your purpose with the spirit of excellence. You're no accident. You're not here incidentally. God has created you for His glory and for the edification. That's a big word that simply means for the building of others. And then you'll get the benefit from it. Let me put it this way, without chasing a rabbit. That it's like handling wood that's been in the fire. When you move that wood around so that it can burn a little bit faster or a little bit hotter, and you use your hands, people that are around that fire, they're feeling the warmth from that fire, but you walk away with the soot on your hands because you've handled the fire, you've handled the wood, but you get the benefit of it as well. Sometimes you're singed by the fire, but also you're warmed by the fire as well. What does that mean? That you can't handle being around fire without being warmed yourself. You can't handle going through pruning, going through refining, the painful things, without receiving the benefit. And so that was a long way around of saying that each person on this program, they've been predestined, they've been prayed over, they've been thought about. And you're here today because the Lord loves you enough to be encouraged by the guest of this program. The guest of my program today is Jowontae Anthony. You say, Anthony, that sounds familiar. Well, he is the older brother of my producer that I talk about all the time, Jowontae Anthony. And also, he is the son of Jowontae Anthony, the father was on our program a few weeks ago. And now I have Jowontae, who is my producer, an extraordinary producer, an extraordinary blessing. I had the father on a couple of weeks ago, and now I have the big brother on. And I'm just going to keep going until I have everybody in this family on the program. But this is Jowontae Anthony. Jowontae, welcome to Defining Moments, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So Jowontae, he is his professional title, he's a professional school counselor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But when I look at you, man, when I physically look at you in the studio, and when I look at you on that picture, respectfully, man, you are a Goliath kind of guy. And of course, I know a little of your history.
Yes, sir.
How does a big, athletic-looking guy fall into the profession of being a school counselor? And of course, if I say that's your lovely family.
That's my babies.
Beautiful family.
Yes, sir.
But how does a guy go from being an athletic trainer for a D1 school to being a guidance counselor at a high school, which is a noble call?
Yes, sir.
By the way.
Yes, sir.
Very noble call.
Yes, sir. Well, two things. I was a football player, and I trained at the school. Just the students, that went to the school, not the football team. I played on the team, trained the students.
As a friend of mine would say, Rob J, who's a household personality, the same name. He's a SWAC alumni. Mm-hmm. He's a SWAC champion. He would say same thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I mean, it's a bit of a story, a bit of a journey.
Love to hear.
Yes, sir.
Love to hear. Because I have said this: the best place that you can ever be is in the will of God. Yeah. The greatest place you will ever have peace is when you're in the will of God. Jesus said, what shall a man profit gain the whole world and lose his soul? What shall a man give in exchange for his soul? I've also said God don't mind you having stuff. He don't want stuff having you.
Yes, sir.
You can have a portfolio that is so impressive, millions and hundreds and thousands, quadruple millions of dollars, but don't have peace inside. Because you have stuff, but you don't have the Lord. Mm-hmm. So the greatest place you can ever have peace is in the will of God. In fact, that you are a counselor, a guidance counselor, man, that is admirable.
Yes, sir.
Because you're sowing into the lives of people. You may not be making $1 million a year. I'm not saying that won't ever come.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it is important to understand your call and be in the call of God.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, growing up in Jackson and having
Jackson, Mississippi.
Yes, sir. And having experienced bullying, just real tough middle school environment. High school was great, but middle school was really tough for me. You
were experiencing bullying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. I was a bit of a late bloomer, I would say. So I was more of an easy target for people like that. And so just dealing with self-esteem issues because of that, and then going to college and kind of becoming myself, finding myself, studying different things. I started as a software engineer major first.
Software engineer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so I did that because all my life, my family would say, you're good at building things. And I knew engineers made a lot of money, but my heart wasn't in it. One, because I'm not good at math particularly. So like I had to take a lot of math classes, and I was like, let's do something for me. And so I finally settled on psychology. I've always loved the individual person, studying them, body language, understanding how they think, why they think that way. And so I finally made that choice. And then my advisors was like, well, if you want a career in psychology, you have to go get a doctorate. I said, well, I ain't going to get a doctorate because I'm burnt out on school, but I'll get a master's. So I settled on the program. I won't say settled because it was where I was supposed to be. I picked the program of counseling. And I knew I didn't want to work in a clinic where I had to deal with work with people who had real, like, real trauma.
Yeah.
I knew I didn't want to do that. I wanted to mentor to kids who needed that place. So I concentrated on school counseling, and I had a great 2-year program at Mississippi State, and I got the
It's
job.
interesting that you said that you really did. You wanted to. You had a focus. You had a desire. You had a yearning. You had a passion to be in an area to help young people.
Yes, sir.
To focus on them. Is interesting, and I've always been curious that oftentimes the very place that we've struggled with in life, that once the Lord strengthens us, sometimes it's the very place that He sends us back to minister. We don't abandon it. I was invited to a function a couple of months ago by a young lady, Ruth Ann Rigby. And it was a function of, it was just an evening of networking at Top Golf. I just gave you a plug, Top Golf. All right. And many of those were professional counselors and mentees and mentors. And there were some clients there who were former alcoholics and so forth, and substance abusers. And now they serve as counselors. And I'm always intrigued that the Lord, He saves you from it. You got to be willing to submit yourself and to surrender and be honest with yourself. But the Lord says, now that you've been rescued, now rather than you going off and pretending like it never existed and it's all about you, I'm going to send you back to that very place and to help fish for those people who are struggling. And now you are authentic. Your story is authentic, that when they share their struggles with you, you can identify.
Yes, sir.
Is that what you felt, the reason that you wanted to go really and focus on helping young people out?
Yeah, but I knew it as soon as I graduated. God, it was just set up for me, and I turned the job down.
You turned what job down?
Counseling, to be a counselor.
You initially turned it down?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Same school, same job, because I felt that I wasn't ready. I thought I wasn't ready to carry, because talking to kids and listening to what they go through and stuff, and knowing some stuff you can't change. I can't change as a counselor. So it's hard to hear, and I didn't think that I could do it. I was worried about all type of stuff, like the legal stuff and all that. And so I turned that job down and went to work for the Navy base down there on the coast at the teen center.
Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And but ever since I turned the job down, I knew I made a mistake. I knew that that's where I was supposed to be. I felt it, and I kept running from it because I was saying I was scared, and it's a commute. I'm fresh out of college. I ain't never really had to drive anywhere for work. It is a 45-minute commute from my home where I stay, and so I didn't think I could do it. I was like, man, I can't do it. I want to put myself in that position. So time go by, and eventually the principal, I had emailed him every quarter. I was like, do you have a job? Do you have a job? Because I knew I made a mistake, and I knew I wanted to be there. And so eventually it came back. Same school, same position.
So why did you say yes that time?
Because God had worked in my life, and I slowed down, and I was like, okay, my wife was a teacher, and it was just us at the time. I was like, I really want to have the same schedule as my wife. And so one day I ended up losing 2 jobs on my way to becoming a counselor. Got fired twice. Mm-hmm. And so the first time didn't really pay attention. The second time is where I really heard God and said, like, man, you say you want this and you say you want that. I've given you the tools. You have 2 degrees. You have a degree where you can go in education and have the same schedule as your wife. And I just started thinking about all that stuff, and I was like, I done spent all this money on school, and I'm running away from, a calling and I'm running away from the potential to have the same schedule as my wife, just so we can, spend time together. Because I was working 12 and getting off at 9, 10 o'clock at night before I became a counselor. So it all just aligned. I even lost another job. I'm not gonna say who it is. They rescinded their offer right before the old principal called me and offered me the job where I am now.
So let me ask. So I have a lot of things flooding through my mind. Number one, why didn't you choose to play football? Why didn't you choose to continue the football career? Because you were good at it.
Yes, sir.
So why didn't you choose to, man, I'm gonna work this system and
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna go to the highest level? Why not football?
Same thing I tell my students now, my young boys at the school that want to play sports. You don't realize how hard it is. It's a job. It's a job. I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning so I wouldn't be late for morning workouts. And I was a walk-on. So, I mean, I had to earn everything. So it was hard. And I was an engineer at the time. So I was spending a lot of time at the football facility. So it came to a point where it's like, are you going to struggle and play football? Because I wasn't on scholarship. I was paying, mom, dad paying for school, helping me get these loans and stuff for school. And or are you going to focus on school? Because this is probably where you're going to be. So I end up having some time to myself and thinking like, this is going to take a lot of work. And my schedule isn't set up as somebody's schedule that's on scholarship is. And I made a tough decision and I was just like, yeah, I'm going to let this go.
So let me ask you this. What would you tell that young person, that young athlete, because they're considered student athletes,
Right.
not athlete students.
Right.
How would you advise that young man, that young woman, that they're in school, but they really put all of their chips on the table on being an athlete and less on academics? Based upon your experience, how would you counsel them?
I would say school comes first. School comes first. If you're trying to make it and play at the next level, those coaches are going to be looking at that academic, that transcript, so they know what type of player they're getting. But also how you work, and this is why I tell my kids now. I have some really, really gifted kids, middle school kids, and I say, how you work in the classroom is going to translate to how you work on the field.
Wow.
Don't work hard when people looking. Work hard when people not looking. So you have a C in all these classes, and now you want to work hard because now the coaches, I'm looking at your grades. But no, do that all the time. And if you do that all the time, you'll have the work ethic you need to potentially go and play at a high level.
Life, Jowontae, life is transformative.
Yes, sir.
And God transforms us through stages and through phases, and that's okay. He prunes us to get the greatness out of who we are.
Yes, sir.
Pruning can be painful. Pruning can be frustrating because we want the results, but we don't like the process. I take a look at Jowontae when he was a little boy. Was that the place? Was that during the period that you were being bullied? Around the area you're being bullied, because you talked about growing up, you were being bullied.
Yes, sir. That's elementary.
Yeah, and I'm trying to draw a correlation.
Yes, sir.
This is Jowontae.
Yes, sir.
Is this another man right here on the bench, or is that Jowontae?
That's me.
So when I want people to really look at this.
Yes, sir.
And the point being, this Jowontae on that bench was inside of Jowontae as a little boy.
Yes, sir.
But you had to work it out.
I did.
And for those that are struggling with if they're good enough, based upon this picture, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at this picture. Thank you for putting that picture up, D. You're a bad boy. Shut your mouth. Based upon this, what would you tell people that are struggling with knowing that there's something great inside of them, but they don't know if they can get it out? Because it took hard work to get that.
Yes, sir.
What would you say?
Just one foot in front of the other.
That's good.
Just keep walking, keep going. Don't try to run. When you run, you're gonna get tired. Walk, take your time, and be consistent. And consistency has phases. A slow phase.
Consistency has phases.
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't get there looking like that overnight.
No. I got there, went back, got there, went back, got there, went back. But my mindset was consistent. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I needed to do. And I knew what I was going to do. And what I was going to do, I was going to stay in that gym. Because that's where nobody could tell me what to do in there. It's mine. So in college, I made it mine. So that's my place.
So for those that are wondering if they're good enough,
Yeah.
what would you tell them? Why don't you look at them and tell them in that camera right here? What would you tell them if they're wondering if they're good enough? Because you were bullied at a young age,
Yes, sir.
but you knew what was inside of you. And I saw that, I hear that defiance inside of you, that I was going to get there because that's who I am.
Yeah.
And nobody could tell me otherwise. What would you tell people?
Let me look at the camera.
Yeah.
I had to tell them, keep going. Everybody, you the only person that know, you and God, the only people that know what's inside you. And no matter what people say, how they act, it's all about how you feel about yourself. I'm 33. Still takes me time to remember that, because I'm in a new phase of my life. So always believe in yourself, no matter like what's going on the outside. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how you feel about yourself. Once you tell yourself you can't do it, you can't do it. But if you tell yourself you can do it, it might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, it might take 20 years. Just keep going, and if it's God's will, it'll happen. That's what my dad always told me.
All right. Hold it up, D. All right, here we go. Lightning round. Man, you're born to the wrong family.
Sir?
You're born to the wrong family.
Uh-huh.
How would you respond based upon that?
Born to the wrong family.
Because there's some folks that are saying, I can't do that because I'm born to the wrong family.
You can't change the family you was born into.
All right. I'm born in the wrong skin color.
You can't change the skin color you born into.
Okay.
Make it work.
So I don't have $1 trillion like them other folk. Excuses. Because what I hear you saying, in order to get that, you've got to be your greatest advocate. You've got to be your greatest champion. You can't wait for people. It's good to have cheerleaders around you.
Yeah, it is.
But you know what? Jesus had 12 disciples. He had the inner circle, Peter, James, and John. But when Jesus went to pray, they went to sleep. Jesus said, watch. He came back and they were asleep. They really loved Jesus, but you really can't depend on anyone ultimately but God to have your back.
Right.
And if you don't believe it, nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen.
Because God won't work past, listen, I felt this one. God will not work past your faith. If you don't believe you can get up, you won't get up. Jesus went to the man who had been at the pool of Bethesda for 38 years. And Jesus came up to him and said, don't you want to walk? And the man, rather than saying, yeah, he started making excuses. He said, for 38 years, when the angel came by and troubled the water, the miracle water, somebody else got ahead of me. Jesus, he don't want to hear anymore. He said, get up and walk. The man got up and walked.
That's it.
It's about believing in yourself.
Believing in yourself, yeah. I mean, you can't change how much money you got. You just have to keep working. Life doesn't stop. You can sit in the corner and pout and whine, or you can keep working. Use your faith and keep working.
Now, this is the part that I really jump in folks' faces. They say, well, I made some bad decisions. I've fallen off the wagon. I've gotten fired. I've gotten terminated. I'm like, okay, now learn the lesson and move forward. Don't allow your hardship in the past, your bad decisions of the past, become your destiny.
Yes, sir.
You shared, I was fired a couple of times.
Yeah.
All right. You could have been, woe is me, wringing your hand, woe is me, blaming the man. one, if you are part of being fired, the cause of being fired, then you have to accept responsibility.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
If you were not, then you have to say, well, that really wasn't intended for me. So God really had to slam that door because he was really trying to get my attention, and I was just not paying attention to him.
Yeah.
I was distracted.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like the latter, like what you said. My first job was a new position at the place, so there really wasn't a layout. So I kind of just thrown into there, and it didn't work out. There were some things that I missed, and there were some things I could have did better. But ultimately, the job just wasn't, my opinion. The job just wasn't laid out for me, and it caught up to me. And then I went to work for another company, and it was just a toxic work environment, and I knew my heart wasn't there, so I just kind of stopped caring. And when it happened, I mean, I really had the support of my wife the second time. Now, the first time, being newlyweds, it was a bit of a that was
some anxiety in the house.
It was a lot of stuff. Yes, sir.
To put it nicely.
Yes, sir.
Some anxiety in the house.
Yes, sir.
Like, what in the world?
Yeah. I had to learn I was learning how to be a husband, and my wife was learning how to be a wife. And so when I got let go the second time, I already knew what I had to do. The first job offer I took, and I was at FedEx 2:00 in the morning to 10 in the morning. And my wife said,
that's stressful in itself.
It was stressful because I was in a different type of work environment. And but my wife said, you don't have to do that. And I said, I'm going to do it because the first time I missed the mark. As a husband, as a man, I'm supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to do. And I was being picky, trying to wait on a perfect job. And I'm not going to do that this time. FedEx was the only people reached out to me. And I worked there. I had a good time. A lot of exercise, which I love. But after that, I was like, all right, I get it. And so I went from that to learning how to be a husband and growing into a man. But
you admit it took experiences. It took doors being closed.
Yeah, it did.
So for those that feel anxiety where they are in their job or in their profession,
yes, sir,
what would you tell them?
You're right where God wants you to be at. And it might not feel good, it might not be comfortable, but just trust the process. It's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out.
And you know what? And that's something I had to learn.
Yes, sir.
Man, a good friend of mine, Chip Henderson, who's the senior pastor of Pine Lake Church, doing a phenomenal job, one of the fastest growing churches in the South. Mm-hmm. He said to me, and he was on the program several years ago, and he said that he had to become content. Mm-hmm. Because there were opportunities for him to leave Mississippi several times.
Yes, sir.
And he's probably still having offers.
Yeah.
All right. But he said he had to become content.
Yeah.
To bloom where he's planted.
Mm-hmm.
He had to be content that this is where I'm supposed to be, and I need to get settled with that. If not, man, you're just gonna be frustrated.
Yeah.
While you're wherever you are.
Yeah.
And that's no good way to live. That's no good way. You know, my uncle used to say you need to be able to whistle while you work. It doesn't mean that things are perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you won't have aggravations and aggravants and agitations, but it means that if you're a child of God, God knows. And if you're not a child of God, God still knows. But particularly if you're a child of God, God knows where you are.
Yes, sir.
And he knows what you're going through. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean that where you are is your destination. But take a deep breath, exhale, and use that season of your life, my wife says, to learn everything about your craft.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And you're saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I had to become comfortable where I was. If not, I was just going to walk around frustrated, punching walls and allowing the toxic.
Yeah. And I mean, I felt like
to rub off on me.
Right. And I felt like that when I first started being a counselor. I was like, man, like, I don't know.
But you wanted to be a counselor.
Yeah.
But once God opened the opportunity, now you're scratching your head.
Yeah, because the transition into the workspace, being a new person, and counselors are part of like the admin team. So the responsibilities that I was being told that I had to take over and do, I started to doubt myself.
Really?
Yes, sir. And it took me
Doubt your skill set, or doubt your ability to have compassion.
No, doubt my ability to do the paperwork, the school work. I knew I could talk and mentor and guide and do that.
But you have a master's degree.
Yeah.
You're being academically trained. Boy, the enemy is crafty, isn't he?
Enemy is crafty, but that's also, I mean.
But God.
Yeah. It's you know, that paper can only get you so far. You know.
That's a good word there.
A paper can only get you so far. You have to be willing to learn and grow, and you have to admit, I don't know everything.
Oh, that's powerful. That's a powerful word.
I don't know how to do that, and that's okay, cause you gonna learn. And so, once I got out the way, a lot of venting and talking to my wife, talking to my inner circle, and it all just clicked. And so I know, and I might
explain for those. As soon as I got out of my way. Chop that up. What does that mean?
As soon as I stopped worrying about all the stuff, like just being in my head, just going to work and just learning and having fun, like, and just knowing God put me here for a reason, it just clicked. Once I realized that, because I was already planning my out. I was like, I'm gonna go finish my engineering degree, and I'm gonna transition into engineering because school this and school that. And eventually I got to the point I was just like, man, I like where I'm at. I like going to the school. It's a 45-minute drive. Don't mind. I get to listen to music I make, podcasts, all that stuff. And I get to go help kids, and I get the fellowship with other adults that have a passion for helping kids. And so I'm content, but you know, I still have goals and dreams and stuff, but if God said it would be, then it would be. If not, I'm cool to counsel.
You know, it's important to have a relationship with the Lord, mm-hmm. and have confidence that He's got you.
Yeah.
And everything works together for the good of them that love the Lord, to them who are called according to His purpose. Every person has purpose.
Yes, sir.
They're not here, God, like, well, I'm just going to put Larry, you know, and Wontae on earth and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
God has purpose for every person.
Yeah.
God has purpose for you. And in fact, my guest is talking about how do you walk through your purpose even though sometimes the seasons are hard. My friend Cal Reno talks about that on his Defining Moments episode today. You're going to be blessed because you need to know that you're here on purpose, for purpose, in this season, in this skin, in your zip code, in your culture, for His purpose, for His glory, but you get the benefit from it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Jowontae Anthony is my guest.
Hey, my name is Kyle Reno, Senior Pastor at Cross Gates Baptist Church. Here's a defining moment from this last Sunday.
It's natural. We often settle for an earthly expression over a kingdom perspective. It's inside of all of us. We often say, man, that's my guy. That's my group. Listen to me, while God still uses people, and man, we should rightly honor those that God uses, but what we should do is look through any person, any group of people that's leading us in kingdom endeavors and ultimately say, that's my God. That I'm only effective in gospel ministry, in preaching like this right now, if that you could get through me and see Him. We often settle for way too little, man, when there's so much more. So let me turn the tide for us for a second here, and this is where I want to land. Instead of just giving you the negative, can I give you some positive? Because if the greatest problem in our progression as followers of Christ is spiritual immaturity, What's the way we answer that problem on the front side so we don't find ourselves in a bad situation? If you want to be healthy spiritually, you have to have a spiritually healthy diet. Here's something that's just true, if you like it or not. Healthy people have healthy practices.
Hey, thank you for taking some time to listen to that defining moment from this last week. If you'd like to listen to the sermon in its entirety, you can go to crossgates.org, and we would love to have you visit with us any week on any of our Sunday experiences or our midweek opportunities. I'd encourage you this week to take some time and really think about what moments right now are defining your destination. God has more in store for you. Hope to see you soon.
What does the name Story mean to you? Our team put a lot of thought in what story means to them.
Story to me, I think of the word legacy. I think of family, I think of people, I think of relationships. I think some of my most fond memories are sitting around listening to stories, and stories from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, all different types of family relationships, professional relationships, and how those relationships kind of transcend time.
Every day we tell our story, the story of our associates, of our clients, of the communities that we serve. That's the essence of the soul of the bank, and it's why being storytellers is so compelling to us, because we've been telling our story for the last 4 years, and now we can go out and really show the market who we are.
Being able to tell the story and incorporating that in our name, to me, is a sense of pride.
It's just a continuation of the people we serve every day. And their individual stories that have made this place so special.
We are trying to change from being seen as just a commercial bank to a bank that is for anyone and everyone, because we are. And that is why we want to change to Story Financial Partners, because we want to know what your story is, what brings you to us, and how we can be a part of your story.
We're growing, we're evolving, and I see us being very successful.
The future of the bank is so bright, you need sunglasses. I mean, it's incredible.
Our future is like it is now, continues to be bright and growing, and will always go upward.
I am very excited. I see it as reading a suspenseful novel based on a true story, of course, because we've had a wonderful beginning, and where we're headed here is a to be continued experience. I'm excited because we should never put a period there. We should always put a comma, because there are greater things to happen with our story. To be continued.
Hey, welcome back to Defining Moments. My guest today is Jowontae Anthony. He is the big brother, literally and figuratively speaking, of my producer, Jowontae Anthony. You hear me talk about Jowontae all the time. My goodness, what a blessing he is. Let me tell you something. God knows the desires of your heart. And he's not as a puppet master that would dangle you, put a carrot before you and just tease you like, I know what you want, but I'm not going to give it to you. Or, like a dog chasing a bone, as soon as you get near the bone, then he yanks it. I prayed and I said, Lord, you've put such a vision in my heart to launch a Christian digital network. But Lord, I need people. I need technical minded people who understands technology, but also who has a love for you. I need those people to walk alongside of me. And God blesses me with a person like Jowontae Anthony, who is skilled, who went to school for this, but also who has a heart for ministry, and he understands. What am I saying? What God has placed in your heart, he's not teasing you. It is real, but you've got to get serious about it. You've got to get serious. And Jowontae said this a moment ago. He said, you got to get out of your way. Oftentimes, your greatest barrier, your greatest enemy is not outside forces. Internal forces. It's on the inside. And you said, Jowontae, earlier, you said you had to get out of your way, and you had to realize, come to a place, a defining moment, this is what I prayed for.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that.
I just kind of just came to me like, man, I'm trying to do this and do that, have this and have that, but I get to go to work, because you got to work. I get to go to work, and then I get to come home at a decent time. I have breaks that I don't have to put time in for. I have the weekends off, and I just really just started to be really grateful for where I was at, and I was just like, man, this makes so much sense. I'm content. My heart is content. I still want to do other things, but I'm out of my way. I'm just being a counselor and learning how to be a good counselor. And if however it goes, it goes.
And it doesn't mean that you have to choose either or. Yes, I've learned now there are some things that if God doesn't want you to have, you really need to ask God to help take that out of your life.
Yes, sir.
But it doesn't mean that you sometimes have to choose either or. You can choose an and. Because not only were you academically trained and you're pouring academics, you're helping to mold the minds of young people to love learning, but you're also athletic. Man, you're a bad boy.
I think so.
So when you take a look at that, what comes to your mind?
The place where I was, the physical place where I was, which is Camp Ozark, which is a Christian-based sports camp in Arkansas. And I worked there 2 summers while I was in college. And there is where I really started to understand and grow my faith with God and relationship with God and understand different things. And that's why, I sent that picture, because that was one of the biggest moments in my life at college.
I've always said this, Jowontae. I said God gives each person on earth purpose, number one.
Yes, sir.
And second of all, God gives each of us a defining moment. That defining moment, you're walking throughout life, just kind of existing. And all of a sudden you'll come to a day, an hour, a minute, a second that God says, this is the reason I created you.
Yes, sir.
You can either embrace it, say, I got it, God. You don't tell me that again.
Yes, sir.
Or you can ignore it like, God, but I don't want to do that. I want to do something else.
Yes, sir.
And God will allow you, because he's placed inside of us free will.
Yeah.
He'll allow you to just keep walking.
Yeah.
But he'll come back and introduce it to you again.
Yes, sir.
You can keep ignoring it. And I believe that one or two things will happen. You can just keep on ignoring it and miss it for the rest of your life. Or God will say, now, I'm trying to get you to a place. Now, what are you going to do?
Yes, sir.
When do you believe was your defining moment, and what occurred to get you there?
Faith-wise?
Yeah.
Was in church, around church, dad, mom. But when you get to college, it's a whole new world. You have freedom, all this type of stuff. But I knew, like, in my heart, I was like, yeah, God, right? And so pray, that stuff, go to church. It wasn't until I went to Camp Ozark and I saw people younger than me up in the morning at 6 o'clock on the porch of the cabinet reading their Bibles. And I just thought, wow, like, they're younger than me and they out spending time with God. I really didn't understand that concept until I went to Camp Ozark. And it was there I met a lot of cool people. I was invited to weddings and all type of stuff, good Christian, men of God, women of God, and just being around them and seeing, like, their heart. And I started then. I think I went on, I started reading the Bible as soon as I got back from the camp, and I just started understanding relationship with God, understanding with God, forgiveness, mercy, grace with God, versus you do this, you can't come in here, or you can come in here, but we really not gonna fool with you. You can come to this place, but we're not gonna fool with you. And so that is where I just kind of started growing my faith and building my personal, intimate relationship with God.
All right, respond to this. Nah, man, I don't need that Jesus. Jesus is for weaklings.
You know, you got free will. You can do what you want to do. But think about this: if you leave this earth and die, and
no, it's not if, it's when.
When you leave this earth
Right.
and die, and there's nothing, cool. But if you leave this earth and die and not known Jesus, then you're just gonna have to deal with the consequences.
And they're eternal consequences.
Eternal consequences.
And the eternal consequence is to be separated from God forever.
Forever.
How long is forever? Forever.
Forever.
And not just be separated. That's torment within itself.
Yep.
Because that means that the grace of the Lord has been removed off of your life.
Yeah.
And that means that you've got to deal with darkness.
Yeah.
And pain and torment forever in the underworld kingdom. And that's real.
Yeah.
So how important is your faith to you? How important is your walk with the Lord as a young man?
Yes, sir. It's really important, and I try to do my best every day. I mean, we say it all the time. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. And I give up thinking that I could be perfect. A lot of people come into their walks and think, I'm going to be perfect. I'm doing everything. You're not. There was only one perfect person, and that was Jesus. So when I make mistakes, I make my mistakes, and I learn to forgive myself and not harp and be hard on myself. But it's important for me because that's how I try to live. I try to put my faith in everything that I do in life: relationships, family, kids, work, my passions. I just try to remember I serve God. I want to help people get to the kingdom. I want God to be proud of me. So I just try to remember that in everything that I do, no matter how small or big.
What have you learned from your decision? What has been the greatest lesson that you've learned to date about surrendering your life to the Lordship of Jesus Christ?
Everybody's walk is different. Everybody's walk is different. Everybody comes to that I want to get saved, I want to serve Jesus moment on their own and differently. And you have to allow people to do that. Your presence enough. If you're a child of God, your presence is enough. Is enough.
Good. Oh, that's good.
To get them to where they're on the track they need to go on. You don't have to, cast them out or stop fooling with them.
That's right.
You love on them, and you be a good person to them, and you minister to them. Sometimes fellowship is just all it takes. It's different for everybody. So I learned that everybody's walk is different.
I was talking to a friend of mine, pastors a church, and he said he's noticed he pastors a large congregation of multiple thousands, and he said that he noticed that some of the young people they were coming to church, but when they started going to college, they quit coming to church. Said they were coming in the front door, but they were leaving out of the back door. And when I talked to young people, they said that it's just too much hypocrisy. If you were talking to pastors of today, every pastor in the universe, all right, yes, of your generation, and you're speaking for your generation,
yes, sir,
and the younger generation, yes, and the generation that you counsel, what would you tell pastors? What would you tell? Oh man, I see you. I see you're ready to go.
It's something I think about a lot, actually, and that's why I laugh. We want the word. We want the word. Like, we grew up in the churches with the long praise breaks and stuff, and that has its place. But ultimately, we don't want to feel like it's a show. We want the word. And the quicker you give us the word, the more we'll come back, or they'll come back.
So, all right, let's cut that up. Let's dissect it. Sure. We want the word.
We want the word.
What does that mean?
It's a lot of stuff going on at church before you get to the word, and a lot of time it feels like a show.
Wow.
It feels like a show. It's we in church at 10 o'clock. We're not getting out of church until 2. I don't know why, but as I got older, I was like, I don't feel right. A good word. Announcements, songs, word. And I noticed for me that the quicker I went to some churches that was like that, and I noticed for me that I was more attentive. I was locked in.
The quicker you get to the word.
The quicker you get to the word. Because once all the other stuff start happening, I'm thinking about football game, what I'm gonna eat when I get out of church.
You're exhausted.
I'm tired.
Your mind,
My mind gone. And for young people, we got to realize that some of these kids, some of these young people, they've had technology, they've had a screen since they was a kid. The world is different for them, so their attention span it's not the same as it was in the early 2000s. It has to be
the baby boomer generation that they didn't have technology. They didn't have a cell phone in church.
So you could have a long program and it'd be okay. Now, the kid, the younger generation, they're a lot smarter than we give them credit for too, and so they're gonna pick up on that. Man,
this is a show.
You on YouTube, you trying to get you prolonging it so you can get your money, which I understand and they understand, but it's the word. It's the word. And so a good word, and I learned this through being around people praying. Growing up, you hear people praying and it's long drawn out. And once I started developing my own relationship with God, sometimes I was like, God, I'm really tired, man. I'm just, my heart, forgive me, and I pray for good rest. And amen.
And I appreciate you saying that, because I think we've overcomplicated. For some, man, we've made Christianity hard.
We have. Yeah, we have.
I mean, we've made it like lifting 1,000 pounds of weights, hard and difficult. And if you don't do it this way, then you going to hell.
Yep.
We made it hard.
Yes, sir.
But prayer is a conversation.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
God knows your heart.
Right. All right.
It's conversation. So it's like me having a relationship with Jowontae, your brother.
Yes, sir.
I don't have to use big encyclopedia words.
Yes, sir.
I don't have to talk French or Spanish or German or,
yes, sir.
I just talk.
Yes, sir.
So that he can understand me, and he responds in a way that I understand him. And that's what relationships will do, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I got out of that notion of long prayers, for myself. I know that at church, when the deacons and some people pray, especially I'm talking about from when I was a young
Sure,
kid,
I got it.
And it was just long. I'm like, man, I didn't stop paying attention.
I hear you back there, D.
I just stopped paying attention.
I hear my producer back
there. Yeah, because he probably thinking about the moments where we just look at each other like in the church pew, like, man, just because
then you have to ask the question: is this for God? Or is this for you?
And so that's where I got for myself. I got to that point for myself, and when I pray, I try to make sure, unless I'm having a conversation with God, but when I'm praying, it's a prayer, and I don't try to overdo, like I don't try to impress God.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think in Christianity, we try to impress. What are you trying to impress people for? Just be you. Let God shine through you. You don't need to. It's cool and it's good to know, but the person that's trying to come to God gonna feel intimidated. You come to them and you quoting 2 books from the Bible, word for word. They can't understand that. Be you. Tell them about when you was out there cutting up and was having a hard time in life. That's what they want to hear.
Be authentic.
Be authentic. Be real. That's something I pride myself with, my own personal brand. You just be yourself. Be authentic. They respond better. People respond better to that. People can see through when people being, not authentic. They being fake. And in the church too. That's why people walking out the back door. They can feel it. Because how you see me in the grocery store, speak to me.
Oh.
And how you say, this on Sunday, and then when I see you, it's a different thing. Granted, everybody got different things going on in their life, and so, but we try to be perfect, and it's scaring people away from the faith, because nobody's perfect. And some pastors sit up and preach, and they got their own trials and problems going on. They son don't even want to talk to them. They ain't even close with they son. So yeah, we got to stop that. If we want to bring the kingdom to people that don't know God, we have to be real and authentic, because we ain't got it together. We act like we do, but we don't.
It's to be authentic.
Be authentic.
And you also, God has blessed you. You host your own podcast.
Yes, sir.
So how did that come about?
All right, me and my buddy, we've been friends for 15 plus years. We've been friends since elementary. And it's a blessing. And he's like a brother to me. And we, the millennials, they call us.
Right.
We're in that age. We're in that space, social media and stuff like that. And so when we were doing the podcast, we was thinking we need to find a space that nobody's catering to. And so my oldest son is a few months older than his twins. And so we was like, man, we need a podcast for men. And
wow.
Husbands
that's good.
And faith and navigating life as husbands and faith, black men navigating life, a husband and fathers. And so that's how we started. And I had a podcast separately, and he had one separately back before COVID, or when COVID hit. And then we came together, and because he said, man, I really can't do a podcast by myself. I was like, all right, bet. And then I was like, my podcast is cool, but I kind of get tired of talking to myself too.
Yeah.
And so we came together, and we came up with MLU, Men Like You, Men Like Us.
Mm-hmm. So what's that? So what's the name of the podcast?
MLU the show.
Yeah.
MLU the show.
And your focus is?
Our focus is helping men navigate fatherhood, husbandhood, and life.
Man, I tell you what.
From a Christian faith standpoint.
And I tell you what, man, that is so needed. Because I'm going to tell you something. Jesus says this in John 10, as recorded in John 10. The thief, Jesus calls the devil the thief. Says that because the thief comes only to steal, only to kill, and only to destroy. But I come that you may have life and more abundantly.
Yes, sir.
So as you read the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, you'll understand one thing. It should become very clear that the enemy targets, number one, the home. And he targets the home and starting with the man.
Yeah.
Okay. If he can disrupt, destroy, kill the man, he can get the home. Because he knows that the instructions God gave initially, God gave instructions to man.
Yes, sir.
Men give instructions to the wives, and they jointly give instructions to the family.
Yes, sir.
It is so discombobulated. It is so out of order.
Yeah.
We get all in our ways.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I run this thing. I'm not gonna follow him. I run this. I run him.
Yeah.
He may run this, but I run him. That's all. That's arrogance. That's narcissism. That's ego. That's out of the order of God. And God is not going to bless what He did not ordain. Full stop.
Yes, sir.
Say that again.
Yes, sir.
I know it's hard for some people to hear.
Yeah.
God is not going to bless what He did not ordain.
Yes, sir.
He's not obligated to. God works in structure and God works in order, and the enemy knows that.
Yeah.
So the enemy works on the man and on the husband to abandon his family, to abandon his leadership in the home, and abandon being constructive and leading the way. Because if he can destroy and distract man, he can have a field day with the family.
Yes, sir.
So I applaud that.
Thank you.
So where did that passion comes from, because that's a pretty mature calling.
Yes, sir.
For you as a young man, for you to say, I got to jump in this, I've got to jump in this battle and bring this to the attention of men, because men are being annihilated.
Yeah. I really got to give the props to my buddy. He and our wives, you know, they're good friends now, and so we just listen to him, and we're all in that space outside of my wife, but myself and my buddy and his wife, we're in that space of social media content and stuff like that. So they did some research, and he brought it to me. He was just like, man, this is where we need to be right here. There's nothing for this. And I was like, let's do it. And so we keep it. He's a deacon at his church in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and we bring different perspectives.
Yeah.
And he's a deacon. I'm a little more rough on the edges, you know, and that's because of, you know, how I grew up and what I lived through and what I've been through, and it comes together to make a really good atmosphere for our podcast, because we're Christian, we're men, we admit to our mistakes, we admit to our faults, but we wake up every day and we want to grow and get better, and we love on our wives, we love on our kids, admit to our mistakes we make inside our home with raising our kids, with how we deal with things with our wives, and we just come together. We use stories, things from the Bible, to help inspire and motivate the change, and to help men feel seen, because some men feel lost when they get married and get kids, because it's scary, and or if they're not together with their baby mamas.
Baby, say it, yeah.
Baby mamas. They're not together with their baby mamas, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But the podcast is for everybody. It's geared towards men, but there's things women can get from it, and no matter if you white, black.
So what do you hope at the conclusion of every program? Man, I hope they really got it. What is the thread of why you do this? What are you trying to say? What do you want men to know?
I want them to know that
husbands and fathers.
Yes, sir. I want them to know that they're not alone. It's we're all out here, and sometimes we don't know what we're doing. Sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes we get it right. But we're here to grow, and you need God to help you make sure you keep that unit together and grow it the way it's supposed to grow. And so at the end of every show, that we're laughing, we're having a good time, because we're men, and we're not trying to be serious all the time, but we want people to save their souls, save their family, save themselves. So at the end, that's what we hope.
So for that young man that's watching right now, for that husband that's watching right now, like, I don't know, dog, I don't know if I can go with that one, man. I hear you.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of picking up what you're putting down. I don't know, dog. You know, I still got a little player in me.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I give my old lady, I give my baby's mama some money. You know, I mean, so what would you say, man?
I say, man, ask God to renew your heart. Get yourself together.
Will you look at him and tell him that?
Ask God to renew your heart. Get yourself together. Remove it. Ask God to remove that stuff from your heart. If you want to be with your baby mama, with your girlfriend, whatever, and you want to grow a family, because there's not a lot of families out there, and I noticed since I became a counselor, ask God to remove that from your heart and grow, and be willing to admit your faults. Got to be willing to admit your faults and be willing to accept criticism, take criticism, and let it make you better.
All right, respond to this. I don't know, Wontae, I don't know if God want me back, because I done some rough stuff, man. I used to be a pimp. I used to be a prostitute.
Yeah.
I used to be a dope addict. I used to be a dope dealer. I don't know if God want my kind. I feel like I need to come home.
Yeah.
But I don't know if God want my kind, and I don't know if they'll accept me in that church. You know, I don't feel comfortable.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if God want me.
Yes, sir.
What would you tell him?
God waiting on you. He at the door, and he can use you. Moses committed murder, And David was out there tripping. If he can use them, he can use you. So he's waiting on you. You just gotta accept him into your heart. Simple as that.
Moses committed murder. You said David was out there tripping. He looked at this woman, Bathsheba, taking her clothes off, taking a bath on the balcony, lusted for her, had her husband killed. Uriah, and had sex with her, and they had a child, and the baby died. But God, he repented. The 51st book of Psalms, that's that repentance of David, and God called him an apple after his own eye. So you're saying God is knocking, and as evident, they're hearing this program, they're watching this program today.
Yes, sir.
Man, D just keep bringing that up. What's D trying to do back there, man?
He's doing his job, man.
And he's doing a great job,
yes,
man.
Sir.
What I believe he's trying to show us is that what you're doing on the outside, you got to do the heavy lifting on the inside, don't you?
Yes, sir.
I told you, D, he's a bad boy, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What you do on the outside, you got to do equally as well. You can't do this on the outside and not do the work for the inside. What does that mean?
I mean, truth be told, when you start working out and your body start changing, you start getting confidence, you start getting looks and eyes. But coming from a background where I never had the looks and eyes, I think it prepared me for the moment when I got to that. So I didn't have I had a good transition, because there were eyes, there were looks, there was distractions, but because of who I was and my relationship with God, I was able to, kind of stay out the way.
Stay out the way. That's good. Now, let me tell you something. Now, listen, I'm not being vain, but I got to tell you something. So, I've lost about 13 pounds. Been working on myself, not a diet, but making a lifestyle change. Because the Lord says, I've got a lot of stuff ahead of you. But if you don't get physically fit, then you're going to fall under the weight of what I'm putting on you to accomplish for my glory. So I've gotten back in the gym, started running, started working out, lost pounds. But my head has gotten right. My heart has gotten right. Not my head, but my heart has gotten right. Right? So I've been losing weight. But now in the gym, it can be a very vain place, because you see people walking around the mirror flexing, and while they're working out, they're flexing. Some of them for structure, because I've started doing it to make sure that I have the right techniques and the right structure. Because I was pressing some dumbbells maybe about a month ago, and I was just doing a whole lot of rocking. And this guy came over to me. He said, "Man, I'm impressed with your consistency and your intentionality, but you're doing it. You're not maximizing. You're not getting maximum results.
Yes, sir.
You got to quit all that rocking. You got to do it this way, And if your muscles are not burning, you're not getting the maximum out of what you're, the techniques. I quit doing it my way, started doing it his way, and my muscle, when I finished doing it, was burning. I've lost weight. I've gone through like 2 belt sizes.
Yes, sir.
All right, tighten my belt up 2 notches. And people are saying, "Man, you look great." They noticed, someone saw me the other day and they said, "Man, I hadn't seen you about a year and a half. Man, you look great. What are you doing?" Now, the reason why I tell that, because I'm not tripping on me. I'm not allowing that to go to my head.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm anchored in the Lord. Because I know the big picture of what I'm doing is not to get so cut up that I start flexing and get in myself.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing it because I know the Lord wants me to have longevity of life because of the assignment He has given me.
Yes, sir.
And in order for me to accomplish that, I've got to not only be spiritually healthy in His Word, but I've got to be physically healthy for endurance.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate it. I appreciate Jowontae doing that. What would you say about the need to be physically and spiritually in shape?
It's gonna help you with the ups and downs of life. If you spiritually fit, you can pretty much withstand anything the enemy try to throw at you. You understand that God is greater than the circumstance and the situation you might be in.
Wow.
Physically fit, I mean, it just speaks for itself. This body that we're in, it's a loner, you know. God,
and you only get one of them.
You only get one, so take good care of it. Because if you research has shown that when you take care of it, it lasts. It lasts long. And especially if you have kids and stuff. And I'm going through that phase now. The kids are getting the dad weight, the dad bod, and stuff like that. And you want to be there for your kids. You want to be able to enjoy life because God has made things in life to enjoy. And if you can't keep your breath and walk down the hallway, you ain't gonna be able to enjoy much of life. So it all works together. You look good, you feel good.
Well, I don't want the Lord to call me home prematurely.
Yeah. There you go.
I want him to call me home when I've laid it all
Yes,
out
sir.
on the line.
Yes, sir.
You do music as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, you're multi-talented. But in order for God to get all of this stuff out of you,
Yes, sir.
you had to surrender, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And when you surrendered, God said, all right, now get comfortable being a counselor because that's your calling.
Yes, sir.
At least for this season.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you got to quit fighting. You got to get comfortable. Quit fighting.
Yeah.
Bloom where you're planted. Look at the glass half full as opposed to half empty. Get comfortable. God knows.
Yeah.
God knows. He can get water out of a rock. He can make bread appear out of dew in the morning and feed people in the desert. He can create a river in a desert. God knows where you are. He knows what you're going through. And the greatest testimonies are the ones that you couldn't do it, but God did it. Because if it had not been for the Lord, you would have been able to get it done. So you decided to surrender. God placed you in a position that you're growing, you're getting joy out of.
Yes, sir.
Because as much as you're pouring into children, they're pouring into you and you're growing. You started a podcast through your own life experiences to pour into other men. And God said, I'm not finished. I want you to get into music as well. So what's up with that?
Yeah, I around COVID, I love music and my mom is a gospel singer. And so it's kind of just always been around. And then I met this guy when I worked at one of the jobs I got let go from. And I've always wanted to try it. I never really wanted to make music. I just wanted to try it because I thought I could do that. I feel like I could do that. One of my buddies say I got this confidence, just like it don't make sense because I be saying that I could do stuff, and it's not that I'm saying that I could do stuff. I really believe that I can do it, and I can.
You know what? Your brother's the same way.
Yeah.
Your brother self teaches himself.
Yeah, man, and I've taught myself. But if it wasn't for God giving me the ability to obtain the knowledge, to have the brain and the skills to learn that stuff on my own, I wouldn't have done it. But the guy said I make music. He played me some stuff. I said, man, that's cool. And he invited me. He said, you come to the house and you can record. I'll show you where I recorded. I went to his house, and this is a testimony. I went to his house. I recorded my first song, which my brother, my best friend, the guy who do the podcast, they love it. And I'm just like, man, I was just having fun. But I recorded that song, and there was a feeling that I had got from making that song, from creating art. And I tried to shake it. I thought it was just a one-off type of thing, but I kind of just felt it like I'm supposed to, this is my part in the ministry, using music to get people to the kingdom. And so it's been a journey because I've had a lot of self-doubt. I had a lot of comparison just because of the space. And then once I got it, I just like, man, whatever.
So when you're talking about music, are you talking about behind the scenes mixing and producing like Jowontae, like D? Or are you talking about singing?
I do both.
Really?
Yes, sir. I'm right now it's just me.
You sing?
I don't really say
You sing?
I'm not gonna really say I'm a singer, but
you sing.
I use the equipment to hit the notes that I need to hit for the song I'm making. Yeah.
Meaning you hit the notes with your voice, or hit the notes with the an apparatus.
With my voice, and then I use the software to.
For example. You knew that was going to come, didn't you? I set you up for that. For example, let me hear something.
What do you want to hear?
Hit me.
Well, see, this is the thing, Mr. Larry.
Go ahead.
I'm creating my own brand.
I got it.
And my sound, it ministers for the kingdom and to the people to uplift and positivity.
I got it.
It's praise and worship with a slap to it.
Got it.
So it don't sound like.
Got it.
All right.
I got him, D. I got him in the headlock, D. All right, go ahead.
I don't even know what to say.
Do your thing, man. Because it's not about you.
No, it's not. Well, I got this song called "How Can I Know."
All right, so listen at this. I'm gonna help you out a little bit, and I'm gonna let you go. So when I'm producing voiceovers or doing my promo, and I'm going so fast, or I'm trying to get so much out, your brother D will say, who's my producer, he said, stop.
Yeah.
Calm down, Mr. Larry.
Yes, sir.
Take a breath. All right. Have fun at it. He always remind me, have fun at it. And he said, chill. All right. He said, just take your time. Now go. And I stop and I breathe. And I say to myself, Lord, accomplish through me what you want to accomplish. Then I go. Then I'll blurt it out. And he say, that's it. Cut.
Yeah.
All right. Now.
Okay. I really, my brain blinked because I got thrown on the spot.
That's all right.
I didn't really speak, but I sent my brother the song.
Somebody need to hear it.
Yeah.
Somebody need to hear.
Okay.
What you're about to say one day.
All right. All right. I'm going to talk sing.
That's all right.
Okay. How can I know? How can I know? How can I know if it's meant for me? And so, how can I know if it's meant for me? How can I know when it's not? Chasing these dreams from night to day, devil be my biggest op. And so, yeah.
Keep going, man. Keep going. There's something inside of you, man. Get it out.
Man, I'm trying to remember the lyrics.
Somebody's being convicted.
Yeah,
man.
I'm trying to remember the lyrics, man, because I've been working so hard. I've been working on so many songs.
Repeat what you just said.
How can I know if it's meant for me? How can I know when it's not? Chasing these dreams from night to day, devil be my biggest op, biggest enemy. Yeah, I forgot the rest of the lyrics.
That's all right.
Yeah, man. I've been working really hard, so I work and keep going.
So, through that song, through the lyrics, what are you trying to convey?
I was in the spot where I was really trying to figure out counseling, engineering, and then I have people. What a lot of people don't realize in my music, I take people's stories that talk to me, that share what they're going through, and I craft it into a song.
Wow.
And so, and I, if they ever listen to it, they'll hear it like, oh, so it can be relatable. And then I put my personal stuff in there. And so with that song, it's just, how can I know if what I want is meant for me? And so.
Wow.
Yeah. So just chase it.
So Wontae, how can I know?
Yeah. How can I know? How can I know? That's part of the song. But, you just have to, it's a feeling inside. It's the God voice. Yeah, it's the God voice. Because, and I know because I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let music go. I stopped. I went months without creating music. And all I could think about was getting back to making music. Like, I can't shake it. I can't shake it. And so with counseling, this brings me joy. I got a job. I got benefits. I'm taking care of my family. I work. It's a blessing to be able to work and provide and take care of the things you need to take care of. So it's just about trusting God, ignoring the enemy. He ain't got no real ground. So it's about just taking that leap and just using your faith and being strong in God.
Someone said several years ago, if you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do that you would enjoy if money wasn't an issue? And if you determine that, then that's pretty much your calling.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
For this, I enjoy this.
Yes, sir.
I am 100% comfortable doing this podcast, launching IgniteMS.tv, the digital platform.
Yes, sir.
I'm 100% comfortable doing this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I am, but from time to time, I get an offer to go do something else.
Yes, sir.
I used to look at the benefits and the compensation and say, boy, that's more substantial than where I am now.
Yes, sir.
So it was tempting. I'm not tempted anymore because I have greater peace where I am.
Yes, sir.
Because I know my God will supply my needs according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. I know me doing the will of God
Yes, sir.
is more important than me building barns for myself.
Yes, sir.
And so I appreciate you. I appreciate you being focused. And, you know, the Word of God says, Ephesians 3:20-21, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to power that work within us. In other words, you can't have more faith than God's ability to answer your prayers. Whatever you faith for, God can do exceedingly abundantly more than that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And if he doesn't grant that or allow that door to be opened, that's because it's not good for you.
Yeah.
Because there's some folks that, Lord, if you open that door, I'll serve you the balance of my days. Maybe if he opened that door, you're served that will become your God rather than, and he's very protective of his relationship with you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And so I applaud you for, and guess what? And you said, listen, it don't sound like some other stuff. That's because it's unique.
Yeah. I had to pride myself on that.
Yeah.
I've been learning through YouTube, trial and error, and it's fun. I enjoy the process, and there's just something about hearing it when it's done or when it's loaded onto Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube. And I don't make any money from it, but I enjoy it.
So for those man, woman, boy, girl that have something in the inside of them that's burning and they just can't get rid of it. They've tried. Even they've asked the Lord to get it out of them.
Yeah.
I was one of those that, Lord, I can't handle this anymore.
Yeah.
Get this out of me.
Yeah.
But I keep running into it.
Yeah.
But for those that they're afraid to get it out of them. Well, Lord, I don't have the resources to get it out of me. Because every time I try to get out of me, I run into brick walls. I get disappointed. How would you encourage them?
It's there for a reason. I had to learn that. My buddy told me that. If God put something on your heart, it's there for a reason. And I don't know where it's going. You don't know where it's going to take you. You just know you have to have the faith that it's there for that reason. God put it there for a reason. That reason might not be to serve yourself. It might be to serve others. Even if it's just 7 people, 7 people, whatever it is, if you're an artist that draw, 7 people that see your art posted on the platform, your picture is serving a purpose for them. And so just pursue it and just bet on God. Don't bet on yourself.
Boy, tell you what, bet on God and not on yourself, because he won't fail you. Jowontae Anthony, man, I have enjoyed this conversation.
Me too. Yes, sir.
And I'm going to get you back here.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
You've been such a blessing, and you've been such an inspiration. And thank you for getting up at 3 o'clock
yeah.
and driving all the way from the Mississippi Gulf Coast to our studios located in the central part of Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that. God bless you, man. And may God continue to bless your ministry and the work of your hands.
Thank you.
And thank you, D, for punching today, man. Our producer, he's extraordinary. You hear me talk about him all the time. And I thank you for trusting us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for 60 minutes of your time, knowing that our only goal is that you leave inspired, that you leave encouraged, you leave challenged from the testimony, from the journey, from the story of our guests. That you leave with hope. Hope for life. Until next time, God bless you, and I'll see you next time on Defining Moments. Take care of yourself and take care of
How can I know when it's not? Chasing the dreams from night to day, double big, my biggest off. We gimmicks, he hope that I